Hello everybody, today I am ranking every FNaF game from worst to best. I think I've done this like once or twice on my channel already, but opinions change, and lately I've been getting into some more difficult max modes, so my opinions have severely changed. And in fact, I'm going to make sure this list is in the correct order, because I've been changing it so much. I think I said changing it, that doesn't even make any sense. Okay, the freaking list is as good as it's going to get. I am pretty satisfied with it so far. So there's 20 entries on the list. I forgot Into the Pit. Oh my gosh, I gotta put Into the Pit on the list. Hold on, give me like 10 more seconds. Okay, now I got everything. Alright, FNaF Into the Pit's on the list now. I've got everything done. Let's try this again. Number 21 is Ultimate Custom Night Demo. If you don't know what this is, it's a reskin of a game called Doofus, or I don't know, something weird like that. It's Scott's first ever video game. He reskinned it as a FNaF game and released it as a demo for Ultimate Custom Night, and obviously it was a troll, and it's not very good. Number 20, FNaF AR. This game actually sucks. I played it once and never played it again. I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. It makes no sense to me. The game is a piece of crap. Number 19. Sister Location Mature Edition, aka Sit and Survive with a Freddy mask on. So this is actually where we get to the point where I would consider this a not the worst thing ever. It's definitely not good. This is like a cool math game. It's I don't know. It's like a really bad idle game, and it's still no good. We're not at the good parts yet. Number 18, FNaF World Halloween Edition. This is actually decent. This one's not that bad. It's the like the troll version of FNaF World, and it's not that bad, but there's not much to do in it. It's a very short game. There's easy, normal, and hard, I think, with a boss fight and some secrets. So there's something to do in this one at least. Number 17. Five Nights at Freddy's the movie, the game, aka Freddy in Space 3, aka Chica in Space. A lot of different things you can call this game. So this game is definitely not as good as Freddy in Space 2. It's just Freddy in Space 2, but not as good. I didn't enjoy my time with this one as much. Maybe it's because when I played this, I had already played Freddy in Space 2, and it felt like a copy, which I guess is fair. So yeah, still we're getting to the point where there's more and more to do in these games. This is like a fully fledged game at this point, just not a very large one. It's not bad. It's not the worst thing ever. Number 16, Freddy in Space 2. This is just Freddy in Space 3. This is just Chica in Space, but better. So there's literally everything I said about the previous one applies to this one, but just simply a little bit better. Number 15, Five Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit. As a standalone game, it's still not fun. Like, this is just generally a not fun game, but I mean, it's the only real game on the list so far. That's why it's better than the other ones. To be honest with you, I'd probably rather play some of the previous entries on the list, but just because this is like a fully fledged game, I can't put it any lower than this. Number 14, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Troll. This is genuinely a fun game. This is the point where I can have some kind of fun with every one of the games onwards. Five Nights at Freddy's 3 Troll is another reskin of a FNaF, or a Scott Cawthon like original game, and it's just the only difference is that Scott put a Freddy head on top of the Anim Dude logo, and it's like the original game was called There Is No Pause Button or something like that, and it's just like Geometry Dash mixed with Unfair Mario. That's the best way to explain it. It's actually very fun. There are 30 levels, and it's good. Number 13, Security Breach Fury's Rage. This is the final spin-off / troll game on the list. This one's definitely the best one. It's like Double Dragon, but FNAF-ified, if that makes sense, if any of you guys know Double Dragon. I don't think it's as good as Double Dragon, but it's not bad. I wouldn't expect much from a spin-off, but for what it is actually pretty good. There probably could be more moves, but I really can't be complaining about stuff like that from a spin-off game. Yeah. Number 12, FNAF Ruin. Now, if we're if we are counting Into the Pit, then Into the Pit is just the worst. If we're not, then FNAF Ruin is the worst one. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach used to be lower than this one, but the more I've grown to these games, the more I realize that Ruin is not good. It's leaning more towards the same problem as Sister Location or Bendy, where it's fun on the first playthrough, but any time after that, it just gets boring. It's like more of an experience than a game. I'm sure everybody's already said that about Sister Location and Bendy, and same applies to Ruin. Honestly, it's very predictable. Things will happen every single time. There's millions of dialogue, and it's just like watch cutscene simulator for the first 30 minutes of the game. It's no good. It's only somewhat fun on the first time playing the game. Number 11, Security Breach, slightly better because it's it's less linear and more open world. There's more to do here. There's more secrets. Not that that's necessarily a good thing at this point in time, because there's so many presents hidden around, and you actually have to get all of them for an achievement, I'm pretty sure. So it does get really boring, but just because there's more to do, and it's less repetitive than Ruin, that's the only reason it's higher. Number 10, FNAF Help Wanted 2. Now we're on to the point in the list where I would consider this a pretty darn good game. I like Help Wanted 2. I still think it's been steel woolified to the maximum. Like, it's still a steel wool game. It's not going to be anything. It's not going to come close to the actual FNAF games before this one. It's just not. We all just accept that. But for Steel Wool Studios game, this is sent from above. Like, this is not what I expected from them at all. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. It was very different from what I was expecting. And this game is actually pretty fun. It has kind of the same problem as the previous two entries, where it's not as fun on the second, third, 10th playthroughs, but it's not as unfun as the other ones get, if that makes sense. This one still retains a little bit of replayability. And for a VR game that's all about minigames, it should retain a lot of that, but it doesn't. It's whatever. The most fun ones are definitely the Sister Location parts of the game. Those parts are definitely the best. And surprise, surprise, it's callback to an older game. Who would have thunk it? Anyways, number 9, Help Wanted. Just the first Help Wanted. This is just like the Sister Location portion of the second game, but throughout all of the folders, and this is just a better game. There's more traditional FNAF gameplay through it, and Dreadbeard DLC is genuinely pretty good. I like a lot of things about this game. Now the only thing is that it's very easy. Like a 5-year-old can beat this game, and it's not scary at all. I don't know why people think this game is scary. They're a bunch of babies. This game isn't scary. So yeah, not scary, not difficult, and not chaotic. All things that FNAF should be isn't. It's just FNAF previous games, but slightly worse. Number 8 is FNAF World. I honestly had FNAF Help Wanted above this game at first, but it's FNAF World. It's got so much charm. FNAF World is so good. It's actually a good game, and it used to be like really high on my list, like really high. But at the end of the day, it's not really a FNAF game. If I'm playing FNAF, one of the last one that's usually going to come to my mind is FNAF World. FNAF World is kind of its own separate thing. I'm either in the mood for a FNAF game or FNAF World. FNAF World doesn't really fit the scheme of Five Nights at Freddy's. I never think of the two as one. That's like two different things completely. And for its own thing, it's incredible. It's actually super good. Not even just as a spin-off, as a game in general, this would be a really good game. It's actually so much fun. Number 7, FNAF 2. This is the first original 7 FNAF games on the list, and FNAF 2 is the weakest in my opinion. Now the first 5 nights, they're trash. Night 6 is decent. I actually kind of like Night 6, and 1020 is really bad. I don't like 1020 at all. 1020 is not a fun max mode, and this is pretty much all the only thing that FNAF 2 has going for it is its max mode, because everything else sucks, and its max mode isn't even that fun. So that's why it's pretty low on the list. Number 6 is the original FNAF. Slightly better. The max mode is slightly more fun, but it is pretty jank. A lot of things don't work. Like the light buttons, they just kind of stay on if you click them too fast. It's really strange how the light switches work. But the max mode is way more fun in this game than FNAF 2, so that's why it's above. Number 5 is FNAF 3. This is like going against everything I've said about the previous two. The max mode is really bad. I hate the max mode even more than FNAF 2, but the main Five Nights are just killer. The main Five Nights are the best Five Nights in any FNAF game ever, besides possibly FNAF 4. FNAF 3 is just so good with the 2 separate endings you can get, like the good ending and the bad ending, or I should say the bad end and the good, or frick me. Yeah, I should say the bad end and the end. There's not really a good end in FNAF, of course. But I really like the task, like the side quest you have to do to get the regular end. It's actually so good. Best Five Nights in FNAF. Second, actually. Number 4 is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, aka Five Nights at Freddy's 6. And this game is really good. Now we're on the list where everything from here forward is just an absolute banger of a game. This game is so much fun. Now I can't exactly recall what my strategy was that I developed, but I posted a strategy guide, and using that strategy, it pretty much guarantees a victory on all 6 nights in the game. And the office segments, they're so much fun. They have a little bit of tension. Not like FNAF 4, but it's probably second in terms of tension. Because it goes back to listening to crap right next to you. Just like FNAF 4 does. But the office segments are really what carries this. We're not going to talk about the tycoon area or the salvages because they're not really interesting. So yeah, office segments, good. Everything else, bad. Number 3, this is going to be a huge shock to everybody that's seen my previous rankings. It's Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location. Now, I've come to my senses with this game, and it's not the main Five Nights. The main Five Nights are trash. They're actually so bad, it's unbelievable. I didn't know a FNAF game could be this bad. That type of bad. But the reason it's so high on this list is because of the custom night. This is literally my favorite max mode of all time. 1020, not of all time, in the official games, I should say. Blood 720, still, it's perfect, and found at the Candy's custom night. But in the official mainline FNAF games, this is my favorite custom night 1020 challenge max mode thing, because it's no luck. There's no luck involved. You can say that a little bit about 5020. There's not too much luck in 5020, but there's a little bit of luck with XOR's random spawnness. That didn't make any sense, but if you know, you know. But Sister Location, it's just pure skill. If you have enough skill, you can easily beat this every single time, but it's a very difficult mode if you do have the skill required. It's hard no matter what. And that's what I like about it. It doesn't rely on just getting that lucky run. It just relies on you manning up and just brute forcing your way through this crap. There's no way you're just going to get lucky. There's literally no way to get lucky on this. You just got to get good. And that's what I really like about this custom night mode. And this is the introduction of hotkeys, and it's done perfectly. And just the whole office looks, the way the office looks is perfect. The way it feels is perfect. The way the camera pans is perfect. This is honestly peak FNAF if we're talking about the custom night. But there are 2 that just get the edge for reasons. Number 2 is Ultimate Custom Night. This is just Sister Location's custom night cranked up to 11. This is 50 characters. This isn't made to be scary. This isn't made to be anything relating to anything community related. This is made for the gamers. That's really what this game is. It's not made to be scary. It's not even made to be a real FNaF game. It was just simply made for the gamers, and that's what I like about this game so much. It's hard. It's hard. I mean, what else is there to really say about this one? I can't really talk about the fear factor. There's none. I can't really talk about the lore. There's actually pretty good lore, but still, I can't talk about anything besides the difficulty. And this is the hardest max mode in the series. Even though personally I kind of disagree, but we'll go with it still. I still think that pre-patched SL is a little bit harder. And honestly, a regular SL, I don't know, man. I don't think 5020 is hard. I don't think it's hard at all, actually. But anyways, besides all that, this game is so much fun. It's really fun to just mess with some of the characters, and especially after you've beaten 5020, to go back to the preset challenges and see how easy they really were. Like Old Friends, which is regarded as the hardest custom preset challenge. It's just brain dead easy once you know the strategies. But yeah, it's fun to mess around with. It's fun to challenge yourself to see what you're capable of, and eventually go for 5020, of course. Number 1 is Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And honestly, I don't even know if this would have been up here if it wasn't for the new strategy that I recently discovered on my YouTube channel where you can predict Nightmare's laughs. Just because of that, this is number 1 again. The main Five Nights, best Five Nights in the entire series, just barely beating out FNaF 3. Night 6. Night 6 is actually good. Night 6 is regular for the first 4 hours, then Nightmare Fredbear for the last 2 hours. And then there's 2020, which I believe is just the main characters for the first 4 hours, and then Nightmare after that. And then there's Nightmare, which is just that, but a little bit easier. The only difference is that with Nightmare, you can do challenges to get bonus stars, and that's where the max modes come in. Max modes are going to play a huge part in these rankings. That's why this is so far up, because of my new strategy that revolves around Nightmare's laughs, just taking all luck out of it. So if you haven't seen my strategy for that, basically to summarize it in the shortest way possible, you can predict Nightmare's laughs by using a timer, because the way it works is that there's a counter that will go up on the bed and closet individually. Once that counter hits 20, then he'll laugh, and that means it's a real laugh, but he can only do a fake laugh on 10-second intervals. But if he goes on the bed, that means it pauses his fake laugh interval. So if he does a real laugh, takes him 7 seconds to leave the bed after you flash him, then you want to shift his fake laugh intervals by 7 seconds, and then he'll still do the fake laughs, but it'll be every 10 seconds starting from 7. So revolving around that, you can kind of predict when he's going to laugh, but he can also only do 2 real laughs per night. That made no sense. You'll have to watch my guide because it's a perfect guide. But by the slim chance you did understand that, then it's the best thing ever. It's so good. So using that, Blind All Nightmare is it's so much fun. It's such a fun max mode. And Blind, Insta Foxy, Mad Freddy is also pretty good. But I kind of have battle scars from that one particularly. Not because it's difficult. In fact, I think it's easier than Blind All Nightmare if you don't use my strategy. But just because getting into the closet is really difficult for me. I don't know why, but with blind mode on, getting in that closet is so hard, and that leads to 99% of my deaths. It's so annoying. So yeah, that was every FNaF game ranked from worst to best. And if I'm going to be honest, I'm still on the fence between Ultimate Custom Night and Sister Location, because I genuinely do think Sister Location has the better custom night. But if we're talking a game as a whole, it's just Ultimate Custom Night easily, because it's not only the max mode that is fun. So it's like this one, if you're playing the max modes, this one is more fun. But if you're not playing the max modes, then Sister Location doesn't have anything at all. Nothing. There's nothing going for this game at all besides its max mode. Not even the preset challenges besides Golden Freddy mode are any fun. So it's really just, this game is only up here 100% solely because of 1020. Whereas this game, it's just fun no matter what. I mean, you can just put on any characters you want and have a blast. That's the reason that I put it higher, but I'm on the fence between those two. Alright, I just gotta get that out before I end this here, because I don't even know what to say about these two yet, honestly. I think I'll leave it, but yeah. I just got a seizure. I got about 15 seizures packed in the back from that one. So yeah, I guess that'll be it for this video. And I might do a ranking of Five Nights at Candy's games, but because that'd probably be short, I also might do a separate ranking in that same video where I do all the Five Nights at Candy's characters. So let me know what you think of that idea and how I could probably do a couple more lists involving Five Nights at Candy's in the same video, because I mean there's only 4 games with about, I don't know, probably like 20 characters, so there's not really too much I can do with that one. So yeah, I guess that'll be it for this video. I suck at outros. Goodbye.